Welcome to English Learning Podcast, Throw Science.
Today, we're plunging into, well, the really captivating world of dreams. You know, those strange, sometimes beautiful, sometimes just plain weird experiences we have when we sleep.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
feel like more than just random nightly movies, right? So today, we want to explore both that mysterious side and what modern science is actually starting to tell us about them.
And it's amazing, isn't it, how long humans have been obsessed with dreams. I mean, you look back thousands of years, ancient civilizations thought they were like profound messages.
Right, like from the gods or something.
Exactly. Direct communications or maybe a peek into the spirit world. But what's so compelling now is how science gives us this totally different angle, linking dreams directly to, our brain activity during sleep, especially during that rapid eye movement phase, REM sleep.
Okay, so let's really get into that then. From a scientific viewpoint, what exactly is going on in our heads when we're dreaming? And maybe the bigger question, considering how intense and, real they can feel, why? Why do we even dream? What's the point?
Yeah, that's the fundamental question, isn't it? And if you look at the science, there are a few main ideas floating around.
Okay.
One big theory is that dreams are actually pretty vital for our psychological health. They might help us process tricky emotions.
Right, like working through stuff from the day.
Exactly. Or maybe solving problems we're stuck on, even helping lock in memories. So, in this view, dreams are kind of a necessary mental workspace.
Okay, that makes sense.
But then there's this other really interesting idea that maybe dreams are more like a side effect.
A side effect. How so?
Well, that maybe it's just our brain trying to make some kind of story out of all the random electrical noise that's happening while we sleep.
Huh. So just trying to find a pattern in the chaos.
Kind of, yeah. Less about some grand purpose and more about our brain's need to, create narratives, make sense of things, even if the things are just random signals.
Wow, the idea of our brains just spinning tales from static is, well, it's pretty wild. And that actually leads nicely into some of those really surprising facts about dreams that kind of mess with what we think we know. Let's start with something lots of people have heard about. Lucid dreams. What's really going on there? When someone says they knew they were dreaming.
Right, lucid dreaming. That's essentially when you gain conscious awareness inside the dream state. You're asleep, dreaming, but part of you knows you're dreaming.
Okay.
And often that awareness gives you some level of control. You might be able to change what's happening or decide where to go.
So you kind of wake up in the dream.
That's a good way to put it.
Wow.
And researchers are super interested in this because it seems to involve more activity in the prefrontal cortex.
Which is usually quieter during sleep.
Exactly. Less active during typical REM sleep. So it suggests this really unique state of consciousness, sort of blending dream elements with self-awareness.
That's a profound difference, isn't it? Your brain is creating the world and watching itself create it at the same time.
Precisely.
And apart from just being, well, cool, are there practical sides to this? Like uses for lucid dreaming?
Oh, absolutely. The potential uses are surprisingly varied. For instance, people who have recurring nightmares.
Yeah.
Lucid dreaming can be a really powerful tool for them. It lets them face the nightmare, maybe even change the outcome, kind of rewrite the script.
Wow, taking control back.
Exactly. And it's also being looked at for boosting creativity, for problem solving, even for practicing physical skills.
Really? Like sports?
Yeah, imagine an athlete mentally running through a perfect vault or a complex play in a lucid dream. The brain activity can actually look quite similar to doing it for real, but, without the risk of falling.
That's incredible. What a fascinating area. Now, speaking of how dreams work, something else that throws people off is how long they actually last.
Yeah.
We've all had those dreams that felt like they went on forever, like an entire movie or, all night. But science says that's not quite right.
No, it's a very common misconception. A really vivid dream can feel incredibly long, absolutely. But most individual dream narratives, they're surprisingly short.
How short?
Typically just between, say, 5 and maybe 20 minutes long.
Only 5 to 20 minutes? Seriously?
Seriously. What makes it feel longer is that we usually have several dreams throughout the night. They happen during each REM cycle, and those cycles occur roughly every 90 minutes or so.
Ah, okay. So you have multiple short dreams, not one epic one.
Generally, yes. Each specific story is usually quite condensed.
That short time frame,
Yeah.
it's really telling, isn't it? What does that suggest about how our brain works during sleep, that efficiency?
It suggests incredible efficiency, really. Our brains aren't just passively replaying stuff. They're actively processing, mashing things together, creating meaning, all on these super compressed timelines.
Right.
The brain seems to focus on the important bits, emotional processing, memory stuff. It's like a high-speed editing room, grabbing the essence of experiences and weaving a news story, not just a slow, real-time playback.
So the feeling of length comes from our mind kind of stretching out key moments.
That seems likely, yeah. Expanding on a few powerful scenes or emotions rather than a long, continuous sequence of events.
Okay. And here's another one of those weird dream details that gives us a clue about how different dream consciousness is. The fact that you generally can't read properly in a dream.
The text thing.
Yeah. Like if you try to read a sign or a book, the words just scramble or change, right?
Yeah.
What's that about? What does it tell us?
Well, that inability to read stable text isn't just, a weird quirk. It's actually a pretty deep insight into how our brain constructs reality when we're asleep.
How so?
Think about reading when you're awake. It's an active process, right? You're taking in external information, interpreting symbols, connecting them to meaning.
Okay, yeah, external input.
Exactly. But in a dream, your mind is pretty much generating everything internally. The specific part of your brain that handles decoding written language precisely, it's just not engaged in the same way.
So it's not getting that external signal to decode.
Right. Dreams are much more about raw emotion, vivid imagery, maybe a kind of internal logic, but not about processing fixed external information like text.
So it really underlines that the dream world is built from the inside out. It's not interacting with the outside world's rules like stable text.
Precisely that. It shows dreams run on a different operating system, you could say, where consistency with an external reality or even internal consistency sometimes isn't the top priority.
Yeah.
That's also why, clocks might show a different time every time you look, or mirrors might act weirdly. Your brain isn't checking against an objective outside world. It's creating this fluid internal one.
It's a really powerful reminder of how differently our thinking works when we're cut off from our senses and just running on internal processes.
And while dreams, definitely still hold a lot of mystery, which is wonderful, they really do give us these incredible windows into how our minds work. This whole deep dive, I think, really shows that mix of ancient fascination and modern science trying to piece it together.
It really does, that blend of wonder and actual neuroscience.
Bridging that gap, yeah. And there's still so much more to figure out.
Absolutely. So thinking about everything we've touched on, dreams helping process emotions or memories, the whole idea of lucid dreaming, even just that weird thing about not being able to read, what new questions does all this spark for you listening right now about your own dreams?
Yeah.
What might those nightly stories really be telling you about your waking life?